Got a few thoughts before we get into the workout, and that first thought is pause deadlifts are a great way to work on your core specific to the deadlift. Long pauses, 3 to 5 count pauses, a few inches off the ground, keeping tight till your face wants to explode almost, is a great way to essentially do a plank in a deadlift position, if that makes any sense. Essentially holding tight stomach muscles, really pressing against that belt. And the second thing, body weight immensely helps to squat. Helps a ton. They say it helps to bench press, I hear, but I gained some body fat, I gained some muscle, I guess, and it's not working. So my bench press still sucks. 2 thoughts. Here we go. Just like in dieting and nutrition for fat loss, or even muscle gain, powerlifting or deadlifting or strength training and getting stronger is that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what you do. I mean, to a certain point, you get to a certain level of proficiency, and the thing that matters the most is that you're consistent and that you're always trying to get better at your craft. You're trying to work on your weaknesses, you're trying to work on your sticking points, you're trying to work on all your shortcomings, your failure and bad technique, your all those things. And, you can follow any program. Programs are great because if you are one of those program followers that like to follow programs and you stick to them, you have no choice but to get better and stronger. And the reason why is because you're following something and there's some sort of progressive overload built in to the whole plan. In my course of training and the way I train, I just try to play around with things, work within what my issues are as far as when it comes to joint problems and limitations with my knee and my elbow and stuff like that. But I just try my best to give it my all when it comes to focus. Getting the right feel. Usually for the day I might have some pause deadlifts, speed deadlifts. I don't really do speed deadlifts very often, but I thought it's about time I start trying to get a little faster with the bar. You just figure out a way to work on your glaring weaknesses, and what will end up happening is you'll make progress. And it's kind of hard to always tell exactly what progress is. It takes a lot of experience to realize what progress is sometimes, because you're not going to test your 1 repetition max every single week. But you can go for rep PRs, and 400 pounds, 500 pounds can feel lighter. It can feel easier. It can feel more accurate. And these are like small nuances that you can't really, they're kind of hard to track. If you're obsessed with tracking everything into like a training journal, not just the numbers, but the notes and thoughts. I just track numbers. I don't really do a whole lot of notes. I do these videos, I guess, but I never really look back at them. Is that you have a sense for if you're getting stronger. You just on the way the numbers look, just the way the bar is moving, just how everything feels. And I guess how much you're suffering. Are you suffering less? Could you push harder? Because, 405 for 5 sets of 5 does sound like a lot, because I did that a few weeks ago when I was trying out a bunch of reps. But in truth, it was basically cardio. It was like strength training cardio. Did I get stronger? Did I build muscle on it? It's hard to say. I do know that the carryover to 1 repetition max was very minimal, if there was any at all. It's just that, as I train and as I try to get better with the deadlifts, get better with the squats, get better with the bench and build strength, it's like you just track your numbers and you go for numbers that scare you. You go for volumes that scare you. Sometimes you get some philosophies like, oh, you can only deadlift once a week, or you shouldn't train heavy more than once every other week. It's true, but it depends on, who you are and kind of what your level is, and you just push yourself, and you're going to run into a problem like your knee starts to bother you, or you feel like complete garbage by the end of the week, and you're not recovering well, you're not sleeping well, something's happening, and you grind away, you find a way. Like here I'm squatting and doing box squats, right after those deadlifts, and my elbows always bother me, my knees sometimes bother me, and I just try to find a way to work on what's weak. In this case, my knee and my quads. I need to work on my quads, and I was gonna do the leg press. I was like, fuck that, I don't want to do the leg press. So, I'm doing some box squats, doing some close stance squats, going a little bit lower, just so I can build those quadriceps up. Kind of build my muscles up. And you got to do the same, where you're weak. And recently I talked about biceps and issues with my elbow, and it turns out that I need to work on my biceps. I need to go back to bodybuilding. And you learn these things through pain, through mild or major injury, through sticking points, through trial and error. I usually get a good sense for how everything is going based on all my training, like my squat and deadlift. For me, I think the squat and the deadlift are one of those things that you can just basically grind, and you can just keep getting stronger and building strength, because it seems to be mostly mental. At least that's for me personally. When it comes to the bench press, I don't know what the fuck is going on with that lift. And I've expressed my frustration most of the time, but I'm getting help. And I'll talk more about that in a later video. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.